Welcome to the Secret Sex Lives of Muslim Women. I'm your host, Salma Hindi. This is the podcast where we dive into everything you wish your older, non-judgmental Muslim sister had taught you about sex, dating, relationships, and life. Today, we have kind of a legend with us in the studio, the incredible, sexy, and highly intelligent Sarah Arabic. Sarah Arabic is an Iraqi-born adult performer and creator who went from studying finance and working corporate to building a career centered on consent, boundaries, and embodied pleasure. Only 3 to 4 years in, and she's already at 1 million followers on Instagram and has amassed over 89,000 subscribers and 53 million video views on Pornhub alone. Raised in a very strict household and community with gender-segregated schools, she learned about sex through sex-positive spaces online and later found her voice in kink communities. And she's here to talk about how she went from virgin to adult performer and what agency really means when you're learning to live life on your own terms.
Wow, what an intro. I love it. Thank you.
Oh, I did like a deep dive into you. Okay. I was like, we need to know everything about
all
you.
Correct. I agree. I agree with everything.
Yeah, you're a legend.
Exactly.
You are. I wish I had
Thank you.
I wish I was able to access more websites and get more numbers because I just kind of wanted to celebrate you, put all of that out there.
That's so sweet. I want to celebrate you
Oh,
for having such a podcast. I mean, not everybody can do that. So
true.
You know,
You
that's
and I,
very great.
Yeah, you and I know a couple things about death threats, don't we?
Just a couple. Just
a
a few
couple,
things
yeah.
here and there, you know.
So I first came to find out about you because a couple of my followers were tagging you in my pictures or my posts saying you kind of look like Sarah. You kind of look like Sarah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I really do see it. Like now I dyed my hair lighter, but when my hair is darker, hold on. I have a picture that I want to show you.
Show me, please.
It's a little risque. Hold on.
We love that.
It was
we
like
love a little slutty moment.
this is my first. I did a boudoir photo shoot for my 30th birthday. Okay, look at like my face.
No,
here.
I see it.
Right?
Oh my god, especially
With the
this
dark hair.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, I see it.
So when I first took the hijab off, this is kind of how I was presenting, and then people started to tag you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw, I was like, oh, this girl's really cool. She's Arab. She's really like, I was just seeing your Instagram feed, right? So I was just seeing your photos, and I was like, wow. First of all, mashallah, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
The Lord has blessed you.
I've been blessed. Thank you.
I was like, today I feel like, usually I'm the one who has boobs from my friends, but today I'm like the fat one. I was like, you know that Shakira line? It keeps going on in my head, like, lucky my breasts are small and humble so you don't confuse
them for mountains. Yeah. I think about that often too.
Really?
I'm like, can't relate, but such a bar. It's such a bar, honestly.
Yeah, and then I guess I didn't really realize like what you were doing, like what your craft and your job is honestly, I think until like maybe I noticed a lot of my friends or like my cousin in Egypt follows you and like a lot of male mutuals of mine, and then I think I started to like open up to and like
understand.
realize,
Yeah. That's interesting. That's very cool. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, like your upbringing.
Yeah. So I was pretty much born and raised in Iraq. Very, strict household. Couldn't really like do everything. Everything was segregated. It wasn't really allowed to explore myself or even be around anybody from the opposite sex, really.
Right. Was it like your family specifically that was really strict, or was it just the general community?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that there were others who were a little bit more liberal, more open to things,
right.
But it was culturally understanding that when you're not, it wasn't like, oh, that's weird or, oh, that's like uncommon. When it comes to sex education, there wasn't any. The only education we had is we don't talk about it. Right. So everything was like, I didn't know anything even about my body, about like anything to begin with, let alone just sexually.
Right. Did you know anything about your period?
Not until I had my first one, really? Honestly.
Because I found out, I guess, about periods because I had older sisters. So
yeah, even it was like, I don't know. I feel like everything was just like, no, you're not allowed to talk about that. So we just didn't. So I went to college in Dubai, and I think that was when I first had like just a little touch of freedom, so to speak, because at that point I was living in dorms. I had a laptop for the first time. I could access the internet, and I think that's how everything kind of first started. It's just me trying to, at first is access porn. I was like watching a lot of porn. I could understand like what things are. I was learning a lot from porn, and I know like now porn, I would see it more as an entertainment, not an educational thing.
Right.
But that kind of led me to be more curious about a lot more things, especially when it comes to sex or even just like how to orgasm. Like I had my first orgasm when I was 19. And that was not necessarily through porn, but actually through Tumblr. There were like some Tumblr blogs that kind of was very much female centric. It was all about like how you can pleasure yourself, learn more about your body. And that's how I basically was able to educate myself when it comes to sex, sexual health, sexual education, all of that was actually through Tumblr.
Wow. That's so cool. I miss like I guess the whole Tumblr era, but I do know that it shaped a lot of people. I guess that was like your way of connecting with the universal conversation around these things, right?
Yeah, and it's not just, I would say like when it comes to women's just understanding their bodies, it's not that it's not common here, but it's not as common or as easily available to a lot of women, even like in the West, so to speak. There's a lot of women who don't know how to orgasm or don't know how to pleasure themselves, but all they know is what they see from porn, which can be sometimes very performative, and they're not necessarily understanding of what actually pleases them.
Right.
So for me, it was a lot of slowly trying to break down all of the judgment, the guilt, the shame that I had to live with for the longest time, and slowly, one piece by piece, like first just learning how to like orgasm. I would read a lot of stories of girls or women who had their first orgasm and how they achieved it, because there's so many different ways you can. You know, some girls would, you know, just like hump a pillow or like an edge of a couch or the shower head. Yeah. Or just like using their hands, and I would just try everything until like something worked. And when it worked, I was like, oh, I didn't really believe if it was real or not.
If it was possible.
And I'm like, I need to try this again. And I was obsessed after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like reminding me of me when I first started masturbating, but I was literally 29 or 28. I was 28 and the pandemic had just started. But you know what it was? First of all, and then I watched porn also for the first time that year. Yeah, so I never watched porn either. And like,
I thought I was a late bloomer.
No, yeah. I'm literally probably like one of the latest bloomers you'll ever meet. Yeah, like I touched myself for the first time when I was like 28, and then I would say I had my first sexual experience with another person later that year, but I didn't have my first kiss till I was 2 weeks before turning 30, and then I lost my virginity at 31. Like I'm taking my time, you know.
And you know, everybody's journey is different. I don't want to ever feel like people need to be rushed to like have any kind of experience, because I know for myself, I waited until I felt completely comfortable even having sex. I had my first sexual experience at I was probably like 20, 21.
Right.
And it was very important for me not to feel, well, I mean, I know that there's a lot of guilt and shame associated with it, but I wanted to like completely let that go before I could like get to that part.
Right.
I knew I didn't believe in it, or I didn't believe that I should feel that way, but I still felt it because it's so much like integrated into, you know, just growing up and all of that. So I, you know, had to like be very certain about it before I even took that step. Right.
Totally. That's so interesting though, because I mean, I was living a very different life than everybody else. Like I feel like I was super. I think it's just the fact that I took on like my dad's really, really strict values, and I thought that that's what I also believed, and I thought that that's what it would entail to be a good person, essentially, to be a good Muslim, aka to be a good person. I thought was to like castrate yourself completely. So, but my castration came not from like, oh, I'm so horny, but I'm abstaining for God. It was like the only way that I could like successfully castrate myself psychologically was by, I think, shaming myself and carrying a lot of sexual shame and carrying a lot of body shame. Like, I am unworthy of love and sex, and I am also like, who would ever want me, and it's gross. Like, you know what I mean? I took it in a self-deprecating way.
Yeah. And that sucks, because that can happen, and it obviously does happen. And it's people, yeah, I don't know if they even think about that, and maybe even our parents and the parents before them have felt that way, but like that's just them passing that down to us,
right.
and it doesn't have to be that way, you know.
Right. But you had to. So I want to talk a little bit about you, because what I find really fascinating about your journey is that you were very isolated. You did it completely alone, which is like so universally relatable to every single Muslim woman, every single Muslim girl.
True.
Like
Very
that's
true.
why I'm doing this podcast, because
Yeah.
I want anybody who listens to me from like their closet in Saudi Arabia or something. Like I want them to not feel so alone, even if they are physically actually in their real life super
Yeah.
alone, isolated from their family, outnumbered. They still feel like there's a force.
I mean, yeah, of course, because like I said, the Tumblr blocks that I had, that was kind of my safe haven.
Yes.
So to speak. So this is probably a safe space for a lot of people to, whether it's learn, just feel some sort of camaraderie,
Right.
just from people all
Right.
over.
I love therapy, and I love to talk about my problems all the time, intellectualize everything, because it's so much more difficult to feel the pain in your body than to, like, you know what I mean? What I found the most interesting about your journey was that I think you mastered the self conversations. Like you sat down with yourself a lot, and you questioned a lot of your beliefs. You did something that most people are terrified of doing. Like you sifted through all of your beliefs that you currently have without judgment, and you went through them one by one, no stone left unturned, basically being like, what do I really believe? What don't I believe? What's serving me and what isn't?
The thing that was always taught to me, like every rule we have to follow is there for a reason, and that there is some kind of logical reason. It's like for our betterment, right? Like everything that we do is supposed to be for our betterment.
Right.
So for me, I mean, obviously it's easy for me to talk about it in like a very concise and small way, but it definitely took years and years for me to do that. And it was me breaking down what is logical and what is not.
Right.
At this day and age, and like, I mean, 2025 now, we can practice safe sex. We can practice sex that's safe, pleasurable, and like good for you, for your mental health, for your physical health, all of that. Of course, there's nothing going to be without risk. It's just how much risk you want to take.
Right.
You know, when it comes to just sexual health, and it even doesn't have to go all the way to having gangbangs and getting tied up and like beat down or anything. Like just masturbating. That is, I feel like, is such a something that's not talked about or encouraged, but it's good for you. There's nothing necessarily harmful about that, unless you know you get addicted, but that's something else.
There's a lot of shame around masturbation in the Middle East, actually.
There is.
Like my sluttiest friends in Egypt who fuck everybody, they won't masturbate though. They're like, no, oh my God. They get really, like, you can see physically in their body, they get like really uncomfortable, because I think it's like a lot of shame and all these talks about like you being there with shaitan, like with devil.
But the thing is, I also feel there's a lot of just toxic masculinity coupled with that, because women are led to believe that they're there to, like, especially when it comes to sexual, they're there to serve the man.
Totally.
They don't understand that they could also gain pleasure from it.
Exactly.
They're not allowed to be a little bit greedy or selfish when it comes to their pleasure.
Right.
Everything feels sometimes a little bit more performative than actually what you enjoy.
Totally.
Doing at that time.
Your Kuwaiti friend who like challenged you.
Oh yes, yeah. My one friend. So she was my online friend. God bless her. She was definitely my first taste of like kind of having a pushback when it comes to some of the archaic ideologies that I had at that time. We talked about whatever was relevant at that day. And I just remember we were talking about queer rights. There's something going on in the United States, and we were like kind of discussing it and all of that. And at that point, like I didn't really had any interactions with anyone who was queer. I haven't explored myself at that time. So I was just in a different state of mind and like completely different place. And I just remember her like asking me, kind of instigating, like, why do you think that way? Do you think because you think that way? She was just investigating.
Yeah.
And through that, I kind of was like,
she was
challenging me.
Yeah.
But without it being like more attacky, more like, hey, why is it that way? And I think like through that, it really did help me to even challenge my own self. Like I needed to ask more questions. Why do I have to believe something blindly without like digging in and investigating? Like why do we believe any certain thing that you want to believe in your life? Is it because everybody tells you that you need to act or behave or feel that way, or is there something else?
Right.
But yeah, she was a good person.
She's a real one.
She's a real one. And she was like also, because I remember she was also going through it at that time.
Yeah.
You know, her household was also just as toxic,
Right.
but she's her own self because she educated herself and she kind of came up with her own conclusions, her own ideology, her own like thoughts. And I think that's like very important. That's what's missing. A lot of people, and it's true with everybody, their ideas and their way of thinking is very much informed by the society or the community they live around.
Yeah, culture.
So I mean, it's kind of out of ordinary to like challenge that.
Right. But it's so beautiful because I really relate. I had many friends at different points in my life like really kind of trigger something in my brain and expand my mind. For instance, when I first started talk therapy, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, my therapist, I remember in the beginning, she asked me, how do you feel about same-sex marriages? And I was like the same way. I was like, you know, like I love everybody, but I like hate the sin, not the sinner, or whatever. Like I'm reciting the script, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay. And then like a few sessions in, I'm like, so then my lesbian friend came over and like she put my mirror up and so then this and that. And she's like, Sanma, you're progressive. Like you're liberal. Like you have queer friends. Like you love queer people. What are you talking about? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm conservative. Because to me, that would indicate a good Muslim. Liberal means I'm falling off the tracks. Liberal means I'm letting go of my values. I'm being swayed. Like there's a lot of negative connotation with evolving, I feel, in our community. When you were looking at porn and using it for educational purposes, was it more so you're just like watching video after video, or was it like you're putting in specific prompts to like learn something specific?
Well, at that time, I think it was more like whatever I could watch. It was very much new to me and I wanted to see it all.
Right.
So I would just like watch everything at that point. I think slowly as I like started to learn like what I'm into, the things that I like, because for me it was like very much a visual stimulation. And by the time I learned how to masturbate, I'm like, I like to watch porn to masturbate. So that's what I did. And I would kind of, as I'm like scrolling through, I'm like, okay, what turns me on more? And it kind of changes throughout time or like mood. So yeah, I think it started with just me watching whatever.
Yeah.
You know, downloading things randomly using VPNs because everything was blocked there. And
take me from like you watching porn for the first time in your early 20s to like actually envisioning like the moment where you were like, I would love to do this, but then like, you know, when you have this crazy thought and then you're like, no, that's so scary.
The thing is, I never really thought I would be doing this until it kind of just happened organically.
Okay.
I knew about it. I loved porn. I watched a lot of porn. I had like favorite porn stars. I thought I was so edgy for that. I even stumbled upon like a clip for the AVN and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that they had award shows for porn. I thought it was so cool. Fast forward like a lot more years and I was on my own in the US.
So you moved to America when? How old were you?
I was old enough. In my 20s, yeah.
In your 20s, okay.
Yeah.
And then you start working a corporate job. So you actually have a degree. Would you like
finance?
To, in
yeah,
finance?
I have a degree. You have
your master's.
I do have my master's as well.
There's 2 masters in front of you here today, and we threw our degrees in the garbage.
Look at it. I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like a degree doesn't really mean it's just a pathway to give you a job. My first, I was like a big girl. My first corporate job, I was on my own, and I was like, this is a gateway for me to like explore more because at that point, I'm like, I kind of just want to experience everything. I mean, I say I had my slutty phase, even though I'm still pretty much very slutty, but I had like my first taste of being slutty. I was, like hooking up left and right. Slowly, I mean, I knew about kink and BDSM, but someone introduced me more on like a real level, like to kink and BDSM, and that's something I wanted to explore and try. So I started, going that route of going to events, meeting people, and I was taking photos, videos. I always like to take photos and videos, and I started posting them on FetLife. I don't know if you're familiar with FetLife.
Can you tell me what that is?
FetLife is basically the easiest way I can describe it. It's like Facebook for kink and fetish kind of people.
Okay.
Or people who are in that community. It's like fetish life. Just like Facebook, you can post photos, videos, all of that, and you have your group of people. From then, it just kind of took off a little bit. It was kind of getting some popularity, but someone told me like, hey, why don't you start an OnlyFans? And, my finance brain, I'm like, yeah, it could at least supplement this hobby. I could, it could help me buy lingerie, toys, all that stuff. So I started it and it kind of just took off. So from there, after a few, I think, I don't know if it was like a year or like few months to a year, I kind of had to sit down with myself and be like, okay, do I want to like invest full time into this or not? And I decided to do that.
Whoa, what was that like when you finally took the leap?
I mean, it was scary, but I mean, I thought it through. No regrets.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I'm very, very like passionate about is no matter what choice I make, it's a choice I make. I understand the risks and I'm okay with it.
Right.
And I get a lot of comments like, what would you think about this in like 5 years from now, 10 years? Like, won't you regret it? I'm like, why would I regret it? Because I understood the risks that I took right now. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life.
Yeah.
What if you regret not taking that leap?
Exactly.
You can always regret something, but you kind of have to stick with whatever choice you have to make.
Yeah.
Whether it was good, bad, whether it ends up really well, whether it ends up really bad, it's a choice made. It was a risk that was inherently taken, and you kind of have to live with it.
Totally. People tell me the same thing too. My own friends, really close friends of mine, they say, aren't you embarrassed that your kids are going to see how you're dressing and what you're putting out there and what you're saying? First of all, a lot of my friends would call what I'm going through right now, i.e. the way I dress, my new values, they would call this a phase. A lot of them call it a phase to my face. I'm not even identifying it that way, and they are. And then they say, we all had our phase, okay, which is true. Most of them have their phases, but it's hidden in secret, and then they come back and then they're good little boys and girls for the community, right? So they tell me, you're like, we all had our phase. You're just doing yours out loud, but be careful because once this phase is over, you won't be able to come back to the community once you've like exposed yourself with all these sins.
Why are we so exclusionary?
Yeah, so then I said, why would I want to be part of a community that would judge me and exclude me because of that? Like, if I am living out my teens and my 30s, am I not allowed to have a teenhood, you know? And,
true. Very true.
And then when people tell me, like, are you afraid of your kids seeing this? I say only one thing to that. I one time did a roast battle. Do you know roast battles?
Yeah.
Like comedy shows where two comedians have to roast each other and there's judges.
Yeah.
It was a really big stepping stone for my career. I did it in Canada and it like helped get me here. But there was one battle where I like really didn't want to do it. And so many people hated the person I was going up against. So I felt all this pressure to beat them. And I did the battle and I won. But it was so shit. Until this day, I do not want to watch it. And I have not watched it because it was just so cruel. It was like two daddyless girls like humiliating each other for the white men to laugh. Like,
yeah, it felt not good.
That's the one thing I regret that I would not want my children to see because
but even then, that taught you a lesson.
True.
That you're hopefully won't do again.
Yes.
You know?
No, after that, I said no more battles for me.
Yeah, whether it's battles, whether it's like being pressured, or whether it's just like trusting your gut.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the times, you know, every time I feel like I do something that I didn't trust my gut on, it always like, I don't know, I always follow my instincts because you kind of know sometimes.
100%. Your body knows everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a beautiful segue. Okay, so now I want to talk about the performance itself, the world of kink. I myself am so fascinated by it, but I'm terrified still. Like, I'm mostly just watching, mostly just observing.
Yeah.
Like, everything sounds good to me, like all the consent rules in sex spaces and the aftercare. Like, there's certain things that I'm like, oh my God, you guys are putting thought into this that other people don't, you know? What is your relationship like with your body in this space? Like, do you check in with your body a lot? I just did a sketch like a couple of weeks ago where I had to like make out with someone and we were like pretend having sex, but I was clothed the whole time. The way I hated making out with him, I wanted to like throw him off me. He's my friend. I know him and he's gay. We you know, he's
that
a great
sometimes
guy.
makes it more awkward.
Really? You
when
think
you
so?
When you know like the person on a friendship level.
True, I guess. Has that ever happened to you, like where you weren't connecting with someone or didn't want to do a scene?
I'm trying to really think if I've ever had a bad experience. When I started like experiencing kink and fetish and all of that, I think that helped me a lot in my professional world because it really gave me such a great framework for consent, for boundaries, for knowing what I like and I don't like, for knowing how far I can take things and not. Because like I said, there's like risk with everything that you do in life. It's just how much you want to tolerate or want to experience before it's, you know, not okay with you, because that's such a personal thing. We can't dictate to people like, oh, this is how far you can take things or not.
Right.
But I think when it came to me performing, one thing I was very adamant about is I didn't want to do anything that I don't want to do. Whether it was the scenes, the partners, whatever, I wanted to be into what I'm doing. in order for me to do like whatever project that I'm working on.
Right.
I wanted to be into it.
So how much of a creative say do you generally have? Like, can you choose your partners? Can you, like, you just say yes, no to it?
It depends,
Okay.
because if the scene is something that is made for me, I can give them like a list of people that I would like to work with, and they can work within that, or they give me like other options and I can pick. But if there's a scene that has it's not necessarily it's made for me, it's just a scene that's available. They kind of give me whatever information that they can, whether it's what the scene is about and what it's for and who my scene partner is. And I can say yes or no to that.
Right.
Essentially. Sometimes they don't have, all of the people, but they know what my no list is as well.
Right. Okay.
That is kind of how it is. Sometimes it depends if who's more important, me or the scene. I can say
Right.
yes or no to whatever.
Right.
I was never pressured to say yes to anything.
Are you ever like mid shooting and then you change your mind, or you're like, actually, I want to stop, or I don't want this?
It hasn't happened with me, luckily. It depends on which studio, which companies doing the scene. But in a lot of companies nowadays, they're very adamant about making sure that everything is safe and consensual. After we do all of our paperwork, before we even start the scene, we have to have a boundary checklist. We go through like all the acts, and we can say yes or no to it, and we talk to our partners. We make sure like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and do all of that. And one thing that a lot of companies are emphasizing is consent can be revoked even mid-scene or after the scene or anything. Just because you said yes now doesn't mean it's a yes forever.
Right. It's like everyone wants to be as professional as possible, so everyone wants to do.
I'm assuming that if someone revokes their consent, it's not because they just changed their mind. There has to have been something that happens that makes them want to do that. But I have not encountered that.
Right.
Actually, I did one time and it was shitty, but it wasn't me. It was like I had like two scene partners and one of them kind of didn't want to finish. Yeah, it was not great, but that can happen and there's always a reason, but it definitely comes with consequences because
I was going to say, does it affect you professionally?
It depends if it was for a legit reason or not. I think it definitely can speak to your professionalism. But I mean, what I have seen has always been taken very seriously.
Right.
I think there's a lot of consequences, and even the companies know that if a boundary was crossed, there would be more consequences than just
Right. Do you have like a ritual? Do you have like aftercare that you do to take care of yourself after working or after doing a scene?
A really good meal is always great. But I mean, it depends on what kind of scene it is. But, like having a good meal, taking like a really good shower, just relaxing.
Yeah.
I don't like to really see this as I know it's a job, but I don't want it to be completely emotionless because I do really enjoy what I do and I love doing it, but it's physically demanding.
Right.
So after a scene, I usually just relax. I try not to like overextend myself too much.
Yeah.
But there are days where you shoot like more than one scene, or it's more packed with things that you want to do, because most of my shooting happens in LA.
Right.
So I'm usually traveling there because I live in Detroit. So I always if I'm in LA, I'm like, I might as well just go out and like do everything. But it's just about listening to your body and making sure that you can do everything or you can't.
Totally. I'm a comedian. I'm in a male-dominated field. The way it works when you're a male comedian, you can literally look hideous, but like you crack one joke and lineups of people outside of a show, girls want to fuck you. Okay, they're called chuckle
fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. And then when a female comedian goes up, it's literally received the complete opposite. Men are so intimidated by us. There's nobody waiting after the show to fuck us. If there is someone, we're waiting in the green room. Okay, I want a restraining order. I'm scared of this man. Like, he's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like dating male comedians for so many reasons, but then it's hard to find men who are not intimidated by me and what I do. So I'm curious, what types of men are you dating, and do you date other adult performers? Yes or no, and why not? Why or why not?
Why or why not? I think it really does depend. I don't want to talk shit about anybody because the industry is so big and you meet so many different people with so many different kind of personalities and everything. I'm not necessarily now dating today because I kind of enjoy what I do and I like just having...
You like being single?
I really like being single.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just like traveling all the time. I can't like devote that much like no person deserves not having my fullest attention, or
Right.
like at least a large part of it.
You're
But-
living your life right now.
Exactly. And I don't feel like I'm missing out, or I want it, I just can't have it. But, I have a wide net of partners that, I kind of have fun with.
Right.
But I do see a lot of like when people in the industry are dating, if they end up not being together, there's always, whether it's the
awkward.
drama, it's
Yeah.
awkward,
It's
everybody.
the same in comedy.
Exactly. In any, I feel like space, especially entertainment,
Yeah.
I think that happens often because people, everybody works with each other.
Yeah.
And everybody talks. And especially if someone's feelings get hurt, it's always going to be that kind of,
The talk of the town.
yeah. So I don't see myself doing that.
So you keep like work and your personal life kind of separate.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time, because there's definitely a few people that I really enjoy their company quite a lot.
Right.
But it really depends on the one person to the other. Also, there's a lot of like egos, I feel like, and which
the same.
I can understand why, because once you're in front of the camera and you get that reaction from people, whether the people who are laughing at your jokes, who are enjoying your performance,
Yeah.
and
Or
like,
numbers. The second you start hitting numbers, people change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I it's not that I don't want to be around, but it's just not,
It's a turn off a little
for
bit.
me, it's not something that I care about or even want to indulge.
Totally.
I don't. But there's definitely a few good people that I really enjoy their company who are in the industry.
Right.
I mean, one of my good friends, we love to say we're married, is my friend Jasmine Sharani, and we're totally in love with each other.
Oh.
But we kind of connected online, and the moment like we kind of linked up, it was just kind of
Yeah.
one of those things. She's a genuine person and I love her a lot.
That's great.
Yeah.
I see so much of your story like in mine because it's so similar. Like there's a couple of comics that, slip
Yeah.
through the barriers,
Yeah.
but whatever, it's fine. And then there's some who are like really, really good friends of mine and who get it because they're on the same path. So, who better to talk to about being a woman in comedy than another woman in comedy? Do you know what I mean? But who really gets it, who also has the spiritual depth that I embody and that I like to be around. We mentioned death threats earlier. So I did receive my first ever death threat, humble brag, last year when I made a joke about wearing the hijab and taking it off and hojabi. But I generally got a lot of hate from the Haram police when I first took the hijab off. And then I think it stayed like that for a bit. And now I would say I'm a strong 50-50. Like lots of support and lots of hate. But the support is starting to drown out the hate a little bit. Finally, took so many years to get
Wow.
here. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. But how's it been like for you with the Arab community online?
Honestly, when I first started, I was worried about the pushback and the hate and all of that. But at the beginning, I received a lot more support than hate, which surprised me. Because I think a lot of people are they feel the same way. They just can't be open about it.
Right.
Everybody is horny. Everybody's kinky.
Everybody's horny.
Everybody wants to do all kinds of weird shit. I get like the amount of DMs with people fantasizing about shit that I could not even think about. I mean, it's astonishing, but people are kinky. They're kinky as fuck. They just can't be open about it.
And the more repressed they are, the freakier, the more
freakiest
creative their kink is that they slide into your DM with.
Crazy.
What's the craziest one you've got?
I mean, I got a custom request a while ago and I had to say no to it because of the subject matter, but he was basically telling me to tell him in the video. He wrote that in Arabic and in English just so I can get it real well, to instruct him to smoke meth and then goon for me or do like whatever it is, like basically instruct him to do other shit. But start with him smoking some meth.
Whoa.
And then do whatever it is that he needs to do. And I have to be like, I'm going to say no. It's going to be, I'm not kink shaming.
Yeah.
But not my cup of tea. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Good luck with your request though.
Honestly, Godspeed.
Hope you find someone. I feel like we can't really talk about adult performance and the Arab representation unless we acknowledge like Mia Khalifa. So did you know about her growing up? Did she kind of have an impact on you, on your career choice? And then also, do you notice like kind of an impact in the industry after her?
I mean, of course I knew about her. It's not that I didn't get the hype. at that point when she blew up, I didn't really like understand like what was the big deal, so to speak. I get it now, but the thing is, I don't know what her stance is when it comes to the adult industry. I know that she has went through her journey, and I don't know whether it was positive or negative. I think it was negative, and I think we had very different journeys. So she's very critical about, I wouldn't even say critical, maybe even resentful
Right.
of all of that, and that might be her truth, but that is not something that I personally agree with. And the thing is, her impact was so huge, you can't really like, you know, dismiss what she had done or the
But then the
or
monetary
history.
compensation wasn't at the time. Like,
No, and like I don't think she owns like MiaKhalifa.com, so her videos that are still circulating around are not even like her own property, or
Right.
she doesn't have any intellectual property claim towards it.
Right.
So I mean that sucks for her, but I'm sure she has benefited off from, at least now, from
Right.
having that
The
name.
yeah.
But you know, whether it's good or bad is not really up for me to decide. That's up for her because it's her life. But the impact is definitely there. She still is ranked on the top 10, even though she's not been in the industry for so long.
Yeah.
So
Well, the fact that she only did it for like 4 months. Is
she didn't
crazy.
even do a full year.
Yeah.
And it's true. That's usually Mia Khalifa is the reference point every time, like, you know, you say you're Arab or whatever.
That's the thing. That's how I even came to know about the porn that she did that was so controversial, like to the Muslim community and whatever. But since then, I've seen the consequences of her being banned from certain countries.
Yeah,
and-
I'm not banned directly, but I wouldn't feel comfortable going anywhere in the Middle East.
Really?
Well, not as, you know, me,
Right.
especially. If I wasn't in the industry, probably I would be fine. But, you know,
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it.
I think you can, but you would have to be very low key. But I
don't
think you would
know.
get recognized. That's the thing.
I mean, that is the thing.
yeah. Have so many people recognized you, like, since you started your career till now?
When I'm out, yeah.
Yeah. People like recognize you, and then they want to pretend like they don't recognize you because they don't want like their girlfriend or someone to know.
Sometimes, I mean, just in this trip, there was one of the days someone, like, we were walking down one of the streets. Someone was like, "Are you an actress?" And my initial thought, I thought an actress, like a TV actress. I'm like, no. But then as I was thinking about it, I'm like, maybe he just recognized who I am and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then I got recognized a couple of times, but I also got like DMs from people like, "Oh, I saw you at this place and that place," or things like that.
Yeah. Fame. What
I know,
did
like,
she say?
Listen, I love it. I eat that shit up. But don't stop.
That's what I find so fascinating about you, though, is that everything on your own terms, everything at your pace. And because of that, it really feels like you're getting everything that you want. You're doing what you want. And at the same time, it's growing into something bigger than you could have even envisioned, which tells me that you're on the right path because the path is bigger than you, kind of a thing. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's why you're like really grounded, and I can feel it.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I always worry. I'm like, not worried, but like I question, can people really see what I feel? Like, because when I'm on camera, because I know what I'm feeling on the inside, but I don't know if it's always been projected. But
Right. And you don't ever feel like this is just work and you just have to do this. And
Oh yeah, that I feel like that would be the beginning of my downfall. Like, because even sometimes, like, just working with someone another time, especially for like content that I shoot for myself, and I'm like, did I have a good time? Do I want to do that again? I mean, there are times where I'm like, I didn't really like the sex was whack. I didn't enjoy it. Like,
Right.
okay, I don't want to do this again.
Right.
I just don't. I'm not gonna force myself to do something just to do it, or to do it for the numbers or for the clout or
Right.
whatever it is. That was never been my.
You're not coming up with like a crazy clickbaity idea of something super uncomfortable for you.
Not uncomfortable. I like fun ideas.
Yes. Yeah.
But nothing like, no clickbait. At least not something that I don't like or anything
Right.
like
That's
that.
not like your driving force. Your
Yeah.
driving force is more so like you're excited to try something.
Exactly. Because there's also a lot of things that people want me to do. And so if it's not my kink, I don't want to do it.
Right.
I don't let, others dictate what I do, what I don't do, and all of that stuff. I just either, if I'm into it, I'll do it. If I'm not into it, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no.
If it's not a fuck yeah, it's a no. I like that.
I want to ask you a couple of like fun questions, just like first thing
go.
that comes
Let's
to
have some
mind.
fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, what's a boundary you have now that you didn't at 21?
That I have now that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
Okay, these are difficult questions.
You're like, you said fun.
You said, I'm trying to think. What did I? Well, I don't know if I even had it when I was 21, but something that I don't like is like being slapped on the face or spat on the face, like specifically the face for some reason. I'm like, okay, everywhere else.
Right.
But if it's my face, unless it's like for a kink or a BDSM kind of scene, because it kind of makes me cry. Right away.
Right.
But I don't know why.
It's so sensitive. I'm also the same.
Yeah.
Way. Don't slap my face. I'm like,
like
no, I want you to like hold my cup my face.
Yeah, because I usually like things a little bit rougher on the rougher side. I like being choked. I like being my hair pulled, but don't slap my face.
Don't slap her face. Okay. And then favorite aftercare ritual, you said good warm meal.
A good meal. A good meal. Oh my God.
What's your fave meal?
I love food in general. I don't have a favorite meal. Okay. I love food.
Everything?
I love everything. I only hate olives, and I know controversial, but I hate olives. Whoa. That's like the one thing I don't like.
Wow.
The one thing I don't like.
I love how that came to your mind right away.
It's been consistent.
Otherwise, it's just like mood dependent, right? Like today.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's one myth about porn that people should drop?
Give me certain myths. Like what do you think about porn?
Okay, I don't really watch that much porn, actually, believe it or not. I did watch one of your videos last week. Okay.
Wow, which one?
I searched up lesbian, okay, because I'm not fucking interested in seeing a man come. I actually don't care. It actually turns me off. But a woman's pleasure, front and center.
Love it.
So I did watch one of your lesbian ones, which I'm not gonna lie to you. As a fan, I'm now a fan of yours complaining. I had to scroll down a lot to get to the lesbian, okay? There's not many lesbian options.
Wow, but called out. What? Never mind. I'm gonna be just releasing some I have a shit ton of lesbian porn.
You do?
Yeah. I'm bad with like putting things on Pornhub.
Okay.
Because it's just like I edit and do all the shit on my own. Yeah. It takes a lot of time. I have to do a special edit for Pornhub. I have to do a special edit for this, and I'm just procrastinating.
It's a lot. So what's your like top website?
I love OnlyFans, and then I really like Fansly because I get to be a little bit more free to do some certain things. Fansly, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's another subscription platform that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I like the people who work there. They're really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, it just seems like you're a boss. It seems like you know exactly what you're doing and you're selective about where to place your energy. And
I'm glad you think that way.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Whether it's true or not, it's, up to, I don't know, whoever. A porn myth.
Yeah. So some myths is that it's bad on women. Everybody hates
like
what they do.
I feel like a myth that I've been asked a lot about is whether I can say yes or no to the scenes or anything. I can say yes or no to even certain acts within the scene itself, unless it's if it was presented as a cream pie scene, you need to know if you're okay getting a cream pie. But within that, there's a lot of like whatever you're comfortable with. Nobody wants you to have a bad performance.
Yeah, totally. So for the performances, so you guys, before you shoot the scene, you know who your partner's going to be, and you guys talk it through a little bit. Is there some sort of choreography, or is it mostly like the nose?
It depends on the style of the scene and the style of the director. If it's like a highly scripted scene, sometimes they want to see certain positions, and they kind of break it down like, okay, start with this, do it for 5 minutes and switch to that. And they want it to be organic when it comes to the sex. They want it to like happen, like instead of cutting too much, they want it all to be in one go.
Right.
And usually the thing that takes not the least amount, like the most amount of time is if it's a scripted scene, is all the talking beforehand.
Totally.
Then when the sex starts, it's usually just really easy. But a lot of the gonzo scenes, which are the scenes that are just like, they're just sex. They're not necessarily, there's no script, there's no like whatever.
Right.
And the camera person is usually interacting. You can like look at the camera, you can kind of interact with it as if it's the audience.
Right.
Those ones are usually, the directors I've had, they're like, just do whatever you like and just go for it until like I kind of yell cut or just say basically it's time for a cum shot or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So it kind of depends, really.
It's time for a cum shot. Is that what they just scream on set?
Like, cum shot? No, they're usually a little bit more nicer about it.
Right.
Or they're like, do you think you're ready to pop? Like, how are we doing on that?
How many people usually on a set when you guys are filming?
I hate saying it depends, but it really does depend. It could be one person. It could be a whole crew of like 10 to 20 people.
Yeah.
It depends
Does
on
that affect your performance, or does that make you a little more nervous?
I feel like it would be more nervous if it was just one person.
Right.
Even if it's just one person, if I'm like comfortable with them, I'm okay.
Yeah.
If I'm not, there's like a lot of people, it's usually everybody's there to do a job.
Right.
Everybody's there like focusing on what they need to focus on. Everybody that I've met has been so professional. They're not like there to make anybody feel weird. And if they do, especially on a big set, there's usually someone who like either reprimands them or just kind of, I can tell someone.
Yeah.
It's like a very safe space.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love to hear all of this. Yeah, because I thought the girlies were not doing okay in the industry.
I mean, I'm not gonna come here and pretend like everything is great. Like in any industry, there's always gonna be people who don't have the best intentions, things that can go wrong, and that can happen easily. And it's kind of up to us as a community to like figure out who are the bad actors are. And we usually, the actors that were like parties, and we usually know who's good or bad, and kind of advocate for better treatment. And I feel like especially in the past few years we've made like a lot of strides, because 5-10 years ago people didn't even have boundary checklists. They didn't have consent talks. They didn't have a talent liaison. Like all of these were kind of new introductions to the industry, and it happened because a lot of the people, were advocating for more safety and more accountability for the performers.
Yeah. Two things. First of all, this is like really, really, really personal to me. I guess I'm scared to like say it out loud, but it is like my ultimate dream at the end of my career, like, what my career is leading up to like eventually direct arousing like ethical porn. That's for the girls.
Porn for the girls. There's a lot of like what's called feminist porn that exists in the sphere. I went down a lot of rabbit holes just watching different scenes and stuff. I think one of the ones that I really enjoyed working with is called Foreplay Films, and it's directed by Inka Winters. Yeah, she has a really like a great eye for that.
Okay.
And I can see you doing that. Honestly, I think that would be a great challenge.
Yeah.
And I think, like why not?
Because I love, like, it would be like mostly soft porn until it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it would, because I'm very like sensual, very romantic.
It's more into the foreplay, like all of that can like really get you there. It's not from 0 to 100.
Exactly. Has to build up, has to, the tension.
The tension, the edging.
Yeah, the edging, totally. I'm so fascinated by it. I mean, but then, and this leads me to my second point. I've been celibate for over like 600 days. I'm fairly new, like I told you, to the sex world in general. And I'm at this point right now where I'm like, okay, I want to like break my celibacy. It feels like the safest thing for me would be like a kink club or something where I can go and just get whatever physical need that I want, even if it's just being cuddled.
Have you been to like any sex parties or anything like that?
I went to one in Beverly Hills last year, the Play. That was really nice, but I didn't do anything. I was interested in one person, and then he was actually an organizer, and he's like, I can't play with first timers, so I couldn't do anything. And I was not interested in anybody else, so I was just watching. I mean,
that's like a great introduction. You don't to be in a space where you feel comfortable to not even engage with anybody. You're not like pressured to like have sex. So maybe if you do more of that.
You're making me feel accomplished right now for doing
I mean, it's true. I feel like there's a lot of like, even me, just, I wouldn't even call it being shy. It's just being anxious around that. And it's completely fine. I think it's to be in a space where it's predominantly like, oh, you're there to have sex and not have sex. It just means you're comfortable enough not to even be pressured into that.
So true.
That's great.
Wow, thank you, Queen. I actually feel great about myself now.
Exactly.
There was actually a porn star at that party. I didn't know her, but my friend recognized her. And she left early because she was really tired because she had shot an orgy the day before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then she left and she tweeted, she goes, I was just at a sex party in Beverly Hills and I didn't even have sex. Isn't that crazy? And I was like, same. I'm the same as a porn star, okay?
Just like me, for real.
Same girl.
But yeah, I went to it's not my first sex party, but it's my first sex party in LA.
Yeah.
Like, was it last month? And it was fun.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of sex, so it was great.
That's great. You really enjoy it and you're unafraid of it, and you're at this point, I would say relative to many people where you're confident enough with what you know and your experience that you can face new curiosities with like your head held high versus me. I'm so terrified. I'm like, I just feel like there's so much going on. I don't know what to control, what I'm gonna lose control over, who I'm gonna become. I've scared men from fucking me. Like men are just like, I'm scared to fuck you because they know I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. And I'm like, you know, you're not wrong. So,
I wonder, yeah. Like, why are you celibate? Is this just more of a personal choice, or is it more you're an incel kind of situation?
honestly, a little bit of incel. Okay, so wait, let me tell you just like briefly. So I have this condition called vaginismus. I don't know if you know this.
I don't think I do.
Basically, a lot of religious girls have it, or girls who grew up religious, any religion, but doesn't have to be them. And because you were shamed out of sex your whole life, and you have all this body shame and like fear of like sex, you have a clinically tight vagina. Like your pelvic floor is really, really tight. And so you can't even insert a tampon inside of it. Even a finger feels like a burning pain. Men couldn't even find the hole. It feels like you're trying to put it into a brick wall. Like you could actually injure a penis because of how there's
tight.
just the hole just disappears because your body's like so tight. And so I had a bit of a slut phase. Like I always say on stage that I've only fucked 2 people in my life, which is not true. Like I would say my body count's maybe like 9, but it happened over like a year and a half because I was feeling like I want to lose my virginity right now. I've already lost so much time. Let's do it immediately. But then what was happening was I was running around town spitting dicks out. Like men would put their dick in it. My vagina would literally spit it out. And then I would hook up with girls also. And then by the time I like actually welcomed a dick inside of me, that's what I like consider truly as like losing my virginity, because that is also when my hymen, like I bled and stuff.
I mean,
but
virginity is not a real thing.
Totally. There's so many points where I could have lost it.
But like mentally, that was for you. That was the time where you had like sex for the first time.
Exactly. And then I think my last experience was just so good. Like I was seeing this guy that I really liked, and the sex was amazing, and I had a penetrative orgasm with him inside of me for the first time. I'd never experienced that. And I really, really liked him, but then he like moved on and fucked every fucking female comedian, starting from the top of the alphabet till the bottom, literally making his way through. And I'm till this day, I'm still kind of heartbroken. I think I'm just, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. It's just taking me time to like recover.
Have you thought, okay,
crying on the
hold
pod.
on, I'll change the subject. When it comes to your tight pussy, have you thought about dilating?
Oh yeah. No, I'm okay now with vaginismus.
Okay.
So my vagina's still tight, but I know, right? My vagina's still tight, she says with tears in her eyes. But
just crying. It's so
my
fucking
vagina
tight. Oh my God.
so tight. And it's
just so warm and cozy.
First time I tried to have a one night stand, biggest dick I've ever seen in my life. It was like this. I was like, where's that gonna go? In me?
I'm sorry.
Where are you gonna put that? Oh my God.
You brought a gun to a knife fight? What are you talking about?
Exactly. I don't know if I can fuck someone penetrative the first go. I think we have to have like at least one session of just foreplay. Like he can't even finger me, or if he fingers me, it's like, okay, stop, because it's still... I just need to test out consent with him in like a very...
You make
sure
like
he's not gonna kill me. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of it is mental. I would say it's a lot of it is like, if that's what it takes for you to be comfortable with someone, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't feel fully comfortable yet with having a sexual partner who's sexually active with other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then it's a big ask too.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, but I have seen a lot of like friends with benefits who are just maybe like, I don't say monogamous, but they're only like hooking up with each other, because that does make sense, because it brings up a lot of talk when it comes to, you know, sexual health and all of that. If you're bringing other people into the relationship, it's a huge, not a huge issue to bring more people into that you know, circle. Container. Yeah, exactly. But then I mean, this makes sense. I know a lot of people with friends who are just like, basically they're hooking up with each other until someone finds another person. They're like, okay, maybe it's time to break things apart.
But then I guess I don't know how to communicate that. I don't know how to like
just talking.
Like I'm scared if we fuck. I don't want you to fuck any other people.
Well, you don't have to frame it that way. You can be like, I don't want to, you know, bring more. You know, like you can frame it in a different way.
Right.
And if the worst thing they can say is, I don't want to do that, and I'm like, okay,
right.
Good luck.
Yeah. What makes sex feel sacred to you?
It's honestly, I think the connection you have with the person. Whether it's like someone you met for the first time or you've known them for a while, having chemistry with someone, it does feel very intimate, very sacred, because oftentimes I do feel that connection with my partners, and I can kind of see it in their eyes. I love like a good eye contact,
Right.
especially when I'm having sex, and I'm
Yeah.
like, if I can feel like that person is really enjoying it and is really like
Connected to you.
connected,
Yeah.
it's really great.
Yeah.
It kind of increases like the intensity of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people, like we said, who are watching you and who are moved by you, either inspired or triggered, maybe, but they just like can't stop watching you.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to them? Maybe other Muslim girls who see themselves in you, or who aspire or who look up to you like you're their role model.
If I want to be a role model, the only thing I want to role model is to always do what you like, whether it's being celibate, whether it's being a total slut, no matter anything in between. Do what you like. I mean, I don't want to say don't let anybody tell you not to, because I know that there's consequences to that in the Middle East.
Right.
But, do things that you enjoy in a safe way. Make sure that you're always safe. But, don't let anyone bring you down.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Wow, Sarah, thank you so much for being
you.
here.
Thank you, Sarah.
And also, we have the same birthday. Okay,
I know.
so happy birthday to you,
Yeah, we
my
have the
Virgo
same birthday. Oh my
queen.
God, look at us.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Secret Sex Lives of Muslim Women. If you resonated with Sarah's story today, or if you learned anything new, please take a moment to comment, rate, and review the podcast on Spotify or Apple, and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and Patreon, which we're going to start posting on this week. If you have a story of your own to share, whether anonymously or publicly, please feel free to email us at thesecretsexlivesofmuslimwomen@gmail.com. And remember, your story matters, especially when it's being silenced. This episode was recorded in Manhattan, New York at 30 Irving Studios. I'm your host, Salma Hindi. See you next time.
Bye.